My name is Norma M. Coffin. I'm 85 years old. I'll be 86 in January. And
When were you born? What's your
I
birth
was
date?
born in Dearborn, Michigan, in January the 10th, 1927.
Okay, so this interview is called The Good Old Days. So the first thing is describe the location where you lived.
Well, I lived in Port Lambton, Ontario for a while. After my mother died, I moved to the farm with my grandparents in 1931, and I lived there until I was about 17 years old on the farm with my grandparents.
Okay, and what was the main source of heat in that home?
We had wood and we had coal.
And where was that wood and coal come from?
Well, we had to order it from the coal company, and that was, I think, in Wallaceburg, Ontario it came from.
Do you remember how much it was to get that? How much it cost?
No, I don't know how much it was a ton. That's the way we bought it, by the ton.
A ton, okay. Were you educated about the fuel's effects on Earth as a child?
No, I didn't hear too much about that at that time. I was a young child, and I had other things that was more interesting than those kind of things at the time.
Was the Go Green campaign part of your life?
No, that was not. I never heard of it then.
When do you remember that coming into place?
That was since I got older. The past few years, I guess I could say.
And I guess you haven't heard of global warming and global freezing when you were
No, I
little?
didn't hear of that either, and that was the same, not since the past few years.
All right, and what fuel did you use to cook?
We had natural gas at that time on the farm. We had natural gas.
What is that?
Well, it was piped into the stove.
Okay. How is that different from fuel now, and which do you believe is more effective?
Well, I don't know. I've been on electricity for cooking, so I really can't compare too much because I haven't had gas for so many years.
Okay. How did you obtain lighting in your home, and was that sufficient?
Well, we had in the living room, we had a gas light, and it was a pipe run up the side of the wall and over to the center of the room. And it was kind of like these lanterns they used for camping. That's the kind of wick it had in it. And then we had that until electricity came in about 1939.
Did you like electricity or lanterns?
Well,
better?
yes, that was better than the oil lamps and everything. We had them too, and it saved a lot of work on cleaning the globes and putting oil in the lamps.
Mm-hmm.
And it was much brighter.
Yeah. How did you package your food, if at all?
What do you mean in...
Like, did you
How
know how
did you-
everything's packed today? Like, every little package, did you
Oh,
use
no,
saran
no, it
wrap?
came in
and-
bulk. We had more in bulk, a pound of this and a pound of that. And
Was it fresh, or did it
yes,
come, like,
it
was it frozen
it
a
was
lot?
fresh food, yeah, because freezing, we didn't have the facilities to keep frozen food.
Yeah. What did you use as means of transportation, like private transportation?
Well, most of it was on foot, but we had an old Model A, a 1930 Model A, and that's what we would go to the nearest town for supplies.
Okay. Do you like transportation then or now better?
I would say I like it now. It's very convenient. You got buses, you got cars, and I would say now was much, much better.
Yeah. What was the main route of public transportation, and did you use that?
At that time, it was just the car or walk.
For, like, the
Well,
public, did they have trains and stuff
um,
that they used, or buses?
Not unless you were in a city or that, then they had the buses and some trains, but otherwise, there were cabs, but not where I lived.
Okay. What did you keep your milk in, plastic, glass, or other?
Well, we kept it in glass, but we had to set it on the basement floor of that because we didn't have refrigeration. We put it in a big crock and cover it, and that's the way we would keep it. we would use it daily, so it wouldn't spoil.
Okay, and you got that all from your cow, right?
Right,
Or straight from the cow.
straight from the cow.
What type of soap was used for washing clothes, and do you think it was better or worse than what we use now?
Well, I don't remember much more than Feld's Naphtha soap because we used on a scrub board and a lot by hand until electricity came in and we were able to get a washing machine. And then it wasn't up to date like they have nowadays.
Yeah.
It had the hand wringers and that kind of stuff on it.
So you like now's
Yes,
system better?
yes,
Okay.
it's very much updated.
What were the main fabrics used, and what were they made out of?
A lot of it we had was wool then, and you had to take a little more care with that, and washing it so it wouldn't shrink. And so the materials they have today, nylon and rayon and all that, is much, much easier to take care of.
But you didn't have that?
No, didn't have much of that, no.
Okay. Let's see. Were clothes easier or harder to take care of than they are now? And explain.
Well, like I said, with the wool and that, you had to wash it carefully because it would shrink or get matted up. So you had to take a lot of care with that. But it was good. It was warm. And at that time, it was the best material.
Mm-hmm. Do you like clothes better now or clothes from your past?
I kind of like the clothes now because they're easier to take care of and they have so much wash and wear. There's a lot less ironing and
Wash and wear. Let's see. What did you do for entertainment and fun?
well, we used to, in the wintertime, we loved to skate and sleigh ride. And in the summer, it was playing ball and tag and anything else we could think of to make up a game.
Mm-hmm. What was it called? The crack the whip thing?
On
That was
ice, yes, we used to play crack the whip on ice.
Can you
We'd
explain
all
that
join
game?
hands and then first one would race and swing you around and we might end up on the bank of the river, but it was fun.
What else did you do? Did you ride the horses?
Once in a while, because they were work horses, so they weren't very good for riding. And the one didn't really like for you to ride on him. You get up in the fence to get on him, and then he'd move away. So we didn't do much horseback riding.
Yeah. What modern conveniences are you most grateful for?
Oh, everything. I would say everything. The microwave and refrigeration and the way of heating and you name it. I like them all.
Did they have stoves back then? Like
For-
big ones like this one?
Yeah, some had, for the wood stoves, yes. They were pot-bellied usually.
Oh yeah, I saw those in the store. What do you miss most about the good old days?
Oh, the easy going, especially as a child. You don't have as many worries and concerns financially and otherwise. Yes, there's quite a bit that I miss.
What's the biggest change you've seen from then to now?
Oh, everything is modernized. Everything, I think, is so much faster and improved, updated.
What's the biggest thing though? Like the biggest change?
No, I think with the computers and everything that didn't have, I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
The technology,
Yeah, that makes a big impact.
yes.
What time period do you believe was the best out of your whole life, as in like a decade, and why?
Well, as far as myself, I'd probably say the 30s and 40s, 1930s and 40s.
How come?
Well, that was in my childhood, and that's when, fun, school, those kind of things.
Yeah. And can you kind of describe what life was like during that time?
Well, like I say, I didn't do all the worrying. Somebody else did the worrying for me at that time. I just had my own little problems.
Yeah. What do you believe our world will look like in 50 years?
Well, I wished I knew. That's a good question. I didn't even know about all this technology, so it's pretty hard for me to really guess what could take place in 50 years.
If you could have one guess, what would it be?
I don't know. Faster trains and faster buses, I guess. Faster airplanes.
All right, I think that's the end of our questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.